and welcome to my Grassroots to Glory save with Sandbach United. And we're going to go through the highlights package, but instead of me typing out all the highlights, because we've got so many to get through, we're just going to crack on. We're going to show you the goals one after the other. It's going to be a rapid pace, so I hope you can keep up. We're playing against Barnton, and Barnton take the lead with a glorious cross and Braithwaite volley. Sandbach United in the second half, header through Sean Ray makes it 1-1 before Laverty puts in this delicious cross. Denton puts in the cross and Braithwaite again finishes. Barnton lead 2-1. Now they're the top team. But when you've got a player like Caius Metz who can produce stuff like that, what a goal. Caius Metz. Take a bow. Then Laverty crosses in and it is flicked on. And sadly for us, that was the end of the goals. Sandbach's losing 2-3 at home, 3-2 defeat to Barnton. But we can't be too despondent with that. Barnton are a very good side. We then move on to Frimley Green, away again in the FA Vars second qualifying round. Sandbach are the team in white. Sandbach United broke through a flick on from new signing Lee Knight. It then rebounds back to Lee Knight and he scores a goal. And then Chris Suker running down the wing but lobs the ball forward early and Caius Metz runs onto it 2-0 and it's progression into the next stage of the FA Vars as they dispatch Frimley Green quite comfortably 2-0. Then we move on to Main Road, and it's not Manchester City Main Road, but it is the team called Main Road who play in Manchester City colours. So you're going to look, and as you can see straight away at the first highlight, Main Road have got an early penalty in the 9th minute of the game, scored by Greg. And then they continue to attack, and Hughes with an absolute pile driver, and that is 2-0. Knight is then clean through and puts in a great finish, 2-1. Before Williams to Prudu to Metz, and Metz continues in his fantastic goal-scoring form and into the second half. And Metz pulls it back to Shuker, who slots it in for 3-2. In what has been an incredible goal-scoring game, the goals continue to rain in with Rowe, followed by Mackenzie, putting Main Road 4-3 up before the scoring is finally finished off. Sadly, it wasn't for us again. Rowe with another pile driver, and that was it. 5-3 to Main Road. The league beginning at this point to slip away because that's 2 defeats in a row in the league. So here we go. It's Sandbach versus Ellesmere Rangers, and we cannot afford to lose this game. We've lost 2 in a row. So here we go with the first highlight of note. And Wilson is fouled by Shuker. And Wilson will take the free kick himself. He crosses the ball in and Spearman, I think it was, with a good header, puts Ellesmere Rangers ahead at a time when we can't afford to lose. But Trudeau soon pulls a goal back for Sandbach United before finally Wilson scores himself as Ellesmere Rangers secure a good win for them and a disastrous result for us because it has really left out question marks about our promotion aspirations. So with 3 serious results that have dented our promotion ambitions, we now come against the current leaders of the league who are pretty much looking like they're going to run away with the league at this time. New Mills are the side. They're playing in the orange and black stripes. Sandbach United in their customary blue. So a penalty is given. Lee Knight scores the goal, which sets us into the lead. But very early on in the second half, Lamb scores a cracking goal, 1-1. It was a good result in context of the team that we were playing. A 1-1 draw, and at least it ends a run of defeats that we've been having. So here we are in our next match against Oswestry Town. No wins in the last 4 games, but thankfully, courtesy of the only goal of the game, Prudeau runs forward, crosses the ball in, Caius Metz with the header into the near post, 1-0. Finally a win that we can celebrate, and we were happy to take that home. So then we come to an away match against Eccleshall, and we need to start building up again on that victory that we had last time, as Grant finds Prudhoe on the wing and he blasts it in. Sandbach United scoring a goal to go 1-0 up against Eccleshall, and then Shuka with another smash and grab. The wingers both scoring very similar goals there. And then a Shuka free kick completes the route 3-0 against Eccleshall. Great result, and surely that is a sign that our form is turning again. So now we come to a match against a team called Hoffman, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I may be completely wrong. It's in the FA Vars actual first round. So this is actually the first round. And basically the game is 0-0, and it's come to the 88th minute, and Lee Knight has been given this opportunity from the penalty spot. We let it run and it's smashed into the back. It was the only goal of the game, but again it's a fantastic progression in the cup, and hopefully we'll get to cover one of these cup games fairly soon if we can remain in the competition. And without any delay, we move back into the league and we play fairly local rivals Abbey Hulton United. So Sandbach United, again the team in blue, with Caius Metz on the ball as we begin to roll a highlight. Metz turning them inside out, and Lee Knight gets the rebounded volley straight into the goal, and Shuka with a free kick makes it 2-0, and the league is beginning to look good again as we begin to march on 3 straight wins. Then we come to our home match against Wythenshawe Town. Wythenshawe Town are one of the teams that I picked out as a difficult team to cope with in the particular division we're in, which I won't keep trying to quote. It's a North West Division 1 South or something like that. Anyway, so we start off with Shuka with another free kick. The keeper saves it. Jenkinson volleys in. Jenkinson is another new signing who we'll talk about in the next episode. Then Metz picked up an injury, but picked out Knight with a superb cross. 2-0, and that was in the 90th minute, and it just secured a win against a team who could have been very dangerous against us. And we actually played really well. That's 4 straight wins, and we can't complain with that. So now we come to Vauxhall, playing at their ground, and they are a pretty dangerous team, but we're in good form at the moment, and Vauxhall are in terrible form, so there is every chance that a team that I thought would be promoted this season, who are sitting in mid-table, we've got a real good chance against them. Surely we're not going to blow this one. But Vauxhall, in just the second minute of the game, are sitting pretty with a 1-0 lead. But Shuka brings it down the wing for Sandbach United, and Lee Knight was left unmarked to make it 1-1 before Fuller picks up the ball, gives it to Hogg, to Dean Atkinson, a new signing who we've got to talk about in the next episode, but a great finish from Dean Atkinson. Then Johnson picks up the ball, and that wasn't very impressive from Matty Johnson. But Hogg, we're in the 47th minute now, and Fuller crosses the ball in. It's cleared out till Delacoe scores. Another new signing who we've got to talk about in the next episode, scoring a goal there, and we got a fantastic result away from home, 3-2 to Vauxhall. So then we come to Malmesbury away from home in the FA Vars, should I say, second round, and again we've been drawn away. We haven't had a home game in the cups yet, but here we go, Malmesbury, as we run the highlight. In the 25th minute, Dunn scores a good little goal for them. A little bit disappointing on the defending side. Campana crosses in and Jenkinson heads home to make it 1 apiece. Dean Atkinson with a good cross. Metz to Campana. Great finish from Campana on the wing. 2-1, Sandbach United. Campana to Sithole. That does say Sithole. Smith. And Smith is another new player that we're going to have to talk about, as is Sithole. I did say Sithole. 3-1 victory away from home in the cup against a bigger team. Can't complain at that. And we'll see who we get in the next round. So then we come to the league, Abbey Hay, and we're doing really well again in the league, 4 straight wins. And we were really hopeful that this would come to continue to go as it is, but Lee brought an end to it in the 79th minute with a great goal and no more was added into the game. A 1-0 defeat in the league, quite disappointing. We move on to the next game. We now move into the North West Counties League Cup first round, and Sandbach United have been drawn away, you guessed it, against Earlham, and let's see how they got on as we roll the highlights. So Metz is clean through in the 39th minute of the game, a great finish, 1-0. Fuller then plays Metz in. He's taken a shot but is saved, and he manages to get the rebound himself and finish. That's 2-0 second for the game for Caius Metz. Schuker crosses with the third, and was that Dean Atkinson with the header. That makes it 3-0. Another good result in the Cup, and so far so good in the Cup runs. Let's hope that we can push much further in all competitions. And finally we come to a home game in the league against Cheadle Heath Nomads. And of course, there's going to be loads of goals in this game. You can guarantee it. It's the game before we do a live comm. So sit back and enjoy. Delacour with the corner, Caius Metz with the header, and that's 1-0 to Sandbach United in the blue. Delacour to Knight. Knight slots it away nicely. That is 2-0 to Sandbach United, and everything's going hunky-dory. Until Skelton picks out Hunt right at the start of the second half, and it's 2-1. Then Knight gets the flick on to Metz, who's through, doesn't make mistakes from that range. 3-1 to Sandbach United. Knight picking the ball up on the wing this time, finds Delacour, then Metz, who completes his hat-trick with a delicate finish which the keeper just couldn't keep out. Grant with the corner, and Lee Knight slides in to poke it home, and a 5-1 victory right before the next live comm, which is coming to you shortly. But I hope you enjoyed these highlight packages. As you can see, the game is moving on at a pace. We'll move to the league table and just show you how things are going. So before we come to the live comm, we're sat in 4th place. We're 2 points behind Barnton, who are in 2nd place. We've got some difficult games coming up, so that will make or break us. But really pleased with how things are going. 4th in the league, 37 points. Just 4 points behind the leaders, New Mills, who at one stage were looking like they were going to run away with the league. But thanks for watching the highlights. Hope you enjoyed them. Let me know whether you prefer the commentary or the text commentary, depending on what you prefer with the music in the background. But until we come to the actual next episode of the series, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.